so honored to introduce such a marvelous personality. I welcome Dr. Latha Christie to address the gathering. Welcome you, ma'am.
And one more special note I'd like to add about Dr. Latha Christie is she started off as an academician, and most of us here are academicians. So we are proud to have an academician who has risen to such a level in the industry in DRDO. And also, ma'am, there are a few of your old students, so many oldies are here, eager to listen to you after nearly 36 years. So it's a proud moment for all of us. So welcome, ma'am, and the stage is yours. You'll rock, we are sure. Thank you.
I was so happy when Matilda called me some few days back. Um, it was overwhelming to see back my students again from Epcoshlang. I started as a professor and lecturer there, and now I am a scientist for the past 35 years. It was purely God's grace. And good morning to every one of you. Artificial intelligence, quantum computing, transhumanism, and robotics. These are all the subjects of my interest. Artificial intelligence and robotics sometimes be confused. Robotics like semi-autonomous robots are the ones that can be manually controlled using switches. Many of us, when we were young, we used to do that, right? But when the machine exhibits intelligence, we can call it as artificially intelligent machines or autonomous robots. So how do you make a machine intelligent? How can we make a machine to speak and to think and to learn like us? Through a training program called machine learning, you can do that. These algorithms feed computer data to AI systems using statistical techniques, enabling AI systems to learn and getting progressively better at tasks. They make a machine to react in human-like ways through speech recognition, computer vision, and so on. But these intelligent machines are both terrifying and interesting also. What if a machine can look into you with its eyes and to know when you look into the machine, it's also looking back at you, and it has thoughts, it has intentions, it has plans, it has designs? Is it not terrifying? Movies like 2001, A Space Odyssey, The Terminator, The Matrix, all these things portray the scenes of a band of humans running away from super intelligent machines, making some to believe that someday a few killer robots strapped with machine guns are going to hunt us all down. Either they can wipe the human race out or it can enslave all humanity. These are all depicted in science fiction narratives. But there will be a scenario when humans and bots will work together, humans using artificial intelligence as a tool to enhance their life experience, where robots can help us in our everyday activities like cooking, planning, driving cars. So these are all not Bollywood or Hollywood stuff. They might become a reality soon. Artificial machines that can function exactly like humans. So it is achievable. So many of you might be using AI. At one period of time during COVID, when I was free, I got into the cycle of buying and returning products to Amazon. So Amazon used to bring these beautiful saris and others in front of me. So how does it do? This is again an AI program. It recommends songs, Spotify's and others. This machine learning algorithms try to learn, recognize images based on the principles of brain. When you feed around hundreds and thousands of images, it learns to distinguish between a car, a motorbike, a giraffe, a newborn baby, and all these things, like how we teach a little baby how to take up things, throw it down. So now you have a watch you can talk to, you have your blood pressure reader, you are on the verge of self-driving cars. Now a Foldimate can fold your laundry clothes. So many things, right? And even in cancer research, it's coming. And nano robots can turn the future of cancer treatment. Sundar Pichai, CEO of Google, said in October 2016, the last years have been about building a world that is mobile first. In the next 10 years, we are going to shift to a world that is AI first. He believes that the combination of AI and quantum computing will help to solve the world's biggest problems. So that is why today I have taken up the subject of the impact of quantum computing on AI. The quantum computers that are going to come up is going to revolutionize, as it can solve the mathematical problems that today's fastest supercomputers even cannot unlock. In just a blink of an eye, it can do multiple computations instead of one at a time. So that's why this is going to be the game changer. The technological advancements over the next 50 years. Now, if I say over the past 50 years, if it is significant, the next 50 years, the technological advancements is going to make those things very insignificant because of artificial intelligence. So let me share my screen. I would be presenting for the next 20 minutes or so what is an artificial intelligence and what are the types of artificial intelligence, what is machine learning, deep learning, what's the difference between artificial intelligence and robotics and quantum computing, and the advantages of quantum computing, challenges, future of artificial intelligence, ethics, and others. So, intelligent quotient, what is IQ? All of us, if we can go for some IQ quotient test, how much we'll get, that will be our interest, right? And we often feel that if our neuron can be programmed, and how about we get a higher quotient? So it's the ability to solve complex problems. That is IQ. So what's a complex problem? Complex problem is a problem with a very large number of inputs and outputs. It has a lack of discernible pattern. So it involves a huge memory and a problem that involves searching among many possibilities for an answer. If you're given a small little amount of possibility, you can find the answer. But if there are many possibilities, what about the answer? So artificial intelligence was a term first coined at the Dartmouth Conference in 1956 by John McCarthy. He says that it is the science and engineering of making intelligent machines. It's a technique of getting machines to work and behave like humans. The power of a machine to copy intelligent human behavior so that it can perform tasks like planning. We all plan. We learn, we reason out, we do the problem solving, we do decision making. All these concepts, if a machine can do, it is an artificially intelligent machine. So systems that can think like humans, a cognitive science, that can act, that can speak, that can listen, natural language processing, automated reasoning, systems that think rationally, like logically, that act rationally. So how it started? It can be traced back to 1950s when Alan Turing published the landmark paper, Can Machines Think?, and devised the Turing test. The Turing test involved an interpreter, a human, and a computer. So now the computer and human have separate conversation with the interpreter. So now the interpreter, if he is able to differentiate between when he is talking to a computer, is it a computer or a human? If he finds it difficult, then it is an artificially intelligent machine. So that way they did the test, and even imitation game, comparing computer results to human results. So this is some of the way we can test. So AI is a collection of technologies that can enable a machine to sense, to comprehend, to act, and learn. So sense, we have this world, we have this eyes, we have ears, we have hands, we can sense, right? The same manner this machine can sense. Comprehend, to enable to recognize patterns and context, just like how we interpret. To act, to take actions, to learn from our failures. We all learn from our failures. That's why we can become a little better than the yesterdays. So same manner, if a machine can learn from its failures or from its tests, so it has from the external world, how sensors are there, how cognition ability, how action, how actuators, with all these things, how it senses and it makes decision, like just like humans do. That is an artificially intelligent machine. So now coming to a robot. What is a robot? A robot is a mechanical device that operates automatically or by remote control to perform some complex tasks by command, or by even itself can do when it is programmed in advance. So this was first introduced by science fiction writer Isaac Asimov. Most of you would have known. He used the word first robotics in 1941. And in 1942, he wrote the 3 laws of robotics in a story called Run Around. It says that a robot may not injure a human or through inaction allow a human being to come to harm. So that was his first law. So robot must obey the orders of human beings except where such order would conflict with the first law. A robot must protect his own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first or second law. So he was scared how humans will be threatened because of a robot. So he has made those rules. And so, robotic function, it generates specific, it has a joints, it integrates tooling and sensors, and it can sense, it can process, it can act. So now what is the difference between automation and autonomy? Robotics, when robotics is programmed to do, artificial intelligence is programmed to think. Now, when programmed to think and programmed to do are joined together, you get artificially intelligent robots. So that is the definition. So you are not automating it from the background. It automatically can think. That's why in Star Wars, George Lucas introduced the strangest image of a human future, how a robot is controlling humans. And first in 1979, the Stanford cart expressed a chair-filled room without human assistance, how it crossed. A full of chair, the room they have filled, and how it could cross by taking the picture from the camera, sending it to the computer, and the computer analyzing it, sending it back, and thus it could cross the place with full of chairs. So this was the first it introduced, and then 1997, Pathfinder, it landed on Mars. Though it was not able to give the right results later, the Mars exploration rover Spirit and Opportunity landed on Mars, and it was a huge success. And they wanted to make it to work for just 3 years, but it worked for long. And this Furby is an artificial intelligence small toy. So people are scared even to bring it to the office or something, because it can record and it can do a lot of things. It can react to the environment. So even the first International Space Station, the first node was placed in orbit using a robotic arm. So these are all some histories. So now tracing a system through machine learning or deep learning is a core part of what makes it intelligent and powerful. So machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence that focuses on getting machines to make decisions by feeding them data. So you feed them data and the machine make decision using this machine learning algorithms. And deep learning is a subset of machine learning. It uses neural networks and solves complex problems. So these two are, machine learning and deep learning, are interconnected fields. They aid artificial intelligence by providing a set of algorithms and neural networks to solve data-driven problems. So this other, you will study about natural language processing, object detection, computer vision, robotics, expert system are all part of this. So what is machine learning in depth? Now you lost in a video game. So what you do? You just try to learn and improve yourself till you beat your opponent. So you learn from past data, past results, and make better decisions. That's why they have the supervised learning. You train it and supervise it. Sometimes even without supervision, it goes. Reinforcement, you teach again and again like a kid. On the basis of reward and punishment also you can do it. If you do this, you will get this reward. If you don't do this, or you'll get this punishment. So that's such things. So deep learning is to learn like a human brain using deep neural network, to learn to recognize patterns, to identify abstract objects like a toddler learning. Like this is a cat, this is a dog, this is not a cat. These are the features of a cat. So these are some of the things. But what I wanted to say is that at this point, see, for example, they gave like this training to a computer to differentiate between, to find from the records who could have killed this person, like a detective sort of thing. And the person who programmed, he has programmed in such a way the black people would have been the most trouble creators. So automatically what happens is this bias is built into the program. So the machine, when it was doing this operation of finding out the criminals, it was more towards the black people because the program was already set in. So how you train the program? that is the way the machine learns. So that is the threat of artificial intelligence. The concept of a dog and all these things you built as a hierarchy and you teach the machine. So what if you teach a wrong way? So, for example, there are soldier robots. You teach a wrong way, it can go and kill the wrong person. So, these are some of the problems with artificial intelligence. So, it can have two purposes. The first is to use the power of computers to augment human thinking, just as we use motors to augment horsepower. That's just a support to us. But next is a computer's artificial intelligence will understand how you think. It's a humanoid way. If you test your programs not merely by what they can accomplish, but how they accomplish it. So that means what is in your mind, your motive, your thought. That is, if you're really doing some cognitive science, you are trying to use AI to understand the human mind. That is the next purpose. So, for example, you have Siri. All of you would have known about Siri. It's an application of machine learning and deep learning. Siri is an application of machine learning and deep learning. The Hey Siri detector uses a deep neural network to convert the acoustic pattern of your voice at each instance into a probability distribution over speech sound. So thus, it first has to understand. So now every time it makes a mistake when responding to your request, what it does, it just tries to improve it next time. It tries to improve it next time. Thus, it becomes more user-friendly to you. That is called natural language processing. It's the ability of a machine to read, understand the content produced by humans, to create natural language that sounds as if a human is speaking or writing it. So now I wanted to come to the most important thing. You have three types of artificial intelligence: a narrow intelligence, general intelligence, and super intelligence. So now narrow intelligence is what we are seeing around self-driving cars, Siri, and others. Artificial general intelligence, when a machine becomes as intelligent as you. Artificial super intelligence, when a machine can improve itself, can redesign its hardware and software, and it can do everything on its own, and it becomes more powerful than a human being. So that is called singularity. At one point, a machine can overpower a human intelligence. So now let us first speak about narrow artificial intelligence. It's speech recognition, up-to-date information about you are now driving your car. You can all see this, where it shows you where is the road hazard, where is the gas station nearby, all these things. And we also have this robots in our car industry, in cleaning and others, and even bricklaying robo, drawing, portrait. It can make pancakes. Last time when I went to US, I was so excited to eat this pancake made by a robo. And in there, every house has this vacuum cleaner. And DRDO, I'm as part of DRDO, I just wanted to tell that artificial intelligence COVID-19 detection software, Atman, we have developed, and using the chest x-rays, and it can detect whether it's a COVID or not. So the AI-based intelligent detector technology can differentiate between COVID and pneumonia from the sample images. So you feed the images to it, and then there is an expert system, and it detects whether you have to, using this RT-PCR test and others, whether it's a COVID or it's a normal pneumonia from your lung x-rays. So this is one thing we have developed, which is useful for during the COVID time. And this Jibo, it's a family robo. So it sits with you. It reads out the menu. When you're cooking, it can read out the menu. Wherever you go, it can take pictures of you. It can sit along with you in your family when you're having dinner. So all these things. And now in medical field is going to change a lot. My son from New York, he says how he uses all these things before going and meeting the patient. Every data, everything they will analyze. And the time spent with the patient is very less. So sophisticated robots, even for surgery and others you have. So these are all the robots. And this is one of the robo which can climb. So this robo, for example, you have to climb to a very difficult terrain where hazardous things are there, where dangerous tasks are there. and you need to disable a bomb. You need to explore whether volcanoes are there. You can do using such robots. So, what is the difference between traditional and autonomous? So now traditional robo is having repetitive task. You tell this robot to clean this car. It has a high speed. It is doing repetitive. It's pre-planned trajectories. So there is no need to interact with humans. It is having everything on its own. But when you come to an autonomous, like exploring space, for example, this is a mass how they explode with the spirit. It's called a spirit, and you can see how beautifully it opened up. I just wanted to wait for it opens up. Mars had water earlier, but now water is not there because the atmosphere has been depleted. So that we could find only because of this robo, which we couldn't have gone at that time initially to find it because of the high radiation environment at Mars. But because of such robos where human is not able to go, they had gone and found out how earlier Mars had water, and now the water has gone because of the atmospheric pressures. So this way it has a sensor, it has a camera, it can take picture, it can perceive things. So the most remarkable things about the spirit and opportunity is they thought that 3 months it will survive, but it's functioning even after 5.5 years, and it can itself find monitor its own health, whether battery power is there, solar cells are there, and all those things. So new softwares it can upload. So these are all autonomous robots, like understanding and modeling of the mechanism. So it has a reliable control of the actuators, integration of sensors, creation of flexible things. So how does that human robotic interface, how they communicate with one another? So that is the use. For example, in an X-boss, you communicate. This is called, in every autonomous robot, you have a human robotic interface. You have a mobility or a locomotion, and robotic arm rotates. It changes. I'm just moving faster because of the time. So robo physically how does the robo physically handle objects? Because it has a claw, it can pick up. It has a program, so the software itself can update. So, or an operator can command it. It has a sensor, ultrasonic sensors, light sensors, touch sensors, radio signal sensors, electromagnetic sensors. Lot of things are attached, and even it can respond to your emotional response. For example, facial expression, body posture. So these are some of the things which a human robot, like humanoid, can do it, like able to walk freely, able to balance, able to climb stairs. So these are all because of this. They can give you coffee, and they can find out about your visual cues. So they can find how are you based on your movements. It can recognize who you are and what are you doing, what are you thinking, what are you speaking. And for example, this robo can play ball so beautifully. It can catch, and it can play ball back. It can perceive that the ball is coming closer to that, and it can throw at the right speed. And so
humanoid robot, Asimo.
Asimo can give you coffee, can take care of you, and it can shake hands with you. It can understand that you are there, and so many of these things it can do it. See how it is doing from the face. It can understand.
Technology react if you upset its balance, moving backwards mid-shake if you push it, or stepping in if you pull it towards you.
Thank you very much.
This latest version of Asimo is the product of almost 3 decades of
So I'm moving fast. So now a nano robot, it's a very important thing because it is going to come in the near future. It's almost come. So it's, for example, you see this one. This robot can go through your blood cell. It can go through your blood cell. It can carry for now. If somebody has a cancer, they do chemotherapy and the complete place gets affected. But if you carry this medicines through this robot, it can go through your blood cell. That movement can be adjusted through a magnet or something like that from the outside, and then it can exactly deliver the drug at the right place, and it can move back. So this way, heart attack, cancer cells, everything can be prevented. It can also kill bacteria and viruses, and it can detect pathogens. So swarm robots, for example, in a swarm robot, if one robot is killed, the other robot can go and occupy the place. This is very serious nowadays in warfare. Such robots are planned, so they can enter into our place and everything can come as a swarm and can kill us or approach us. So some risk of emerging technologies like driverless car. Now you have a car and you have programmed it. For example, one car got into an accident because a big truck, more than the height what it was programmed, it come closer by that. So it thought it was something else and it went and dashed against it. So these are all some of the risks of your latest technologies. So technologies of concern. For example, now you're training a robot to kill people. You're training a robot how to work against your enemy. So this is using a machine using a machine to kill a human being. Is it ethically right? And what if such robots are trained and walk around in our place with guns in its hand? So that is the most dangerous situation it is. So this is the way people train soldier robots. They are all soldier robots. And now here you see, she has got a citizenship, Sophia.
Let's play a game of rock, paper, scissors, robot style. Okay, let's get this game going. Show me your hand to start. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. I won. This is a good beginning of my plan to dominate the human race.
So the dominate to human race, she tells. So this is called the singularity, where the robots will one day supersede. So they are also planning to do our mind uploading to the cloud, so that even after you die, your brain can be saved and the brain can be cut into small, small things, and every of your memory of your things can be uploaded to the computer. So it has 100,000 neurons. It has over billion connections. And now the brain synapses captured is too huge. So you need a different sort of computer. Your mind is given a virtual body. Now, what happens is when it is uploaded, even after you die, you are alive. It's in a virtual you. The biological you might have died, but the simulated you, your memories, your personalities, your thought patterns can't be injured. You can't be depressed. So you are living in a virtual world where the bio you is living in the real world. So these are two functional things. So you might be able to meet over a video conference. So these are all people are trying out using neurotechnology. Neuralink and Paradromics are all some of the companies which are aimed at restoring communication, mobility, and all these things. And they are also trying, it started with good things. For example, if a person loses his hand, they are trying to make beautiful prostheses which is connected to the brain, and even with your thought you can move the things. But now what if you are able to cut your hand and put some prosthetic hand so that you can fly, you can jump like a Spider-Man. So these are all some of the latest technologies. I've written a science fiction novel based on this called The Perfect Accident. And so now let me come to the quantum computing and finish in just 5 to 10 minutes time. So quantum computing, why I brought in all the things is when you want to upload your brain, which has so many neurons, you need some computational things that is out of reach of classical computers. It cannot be solved through normal things. So you know why it's called quantum? If you would have studied quantum mechanics or quantum physics, you would know that atom is not made of just electron, proton, and neutron. When you just break protons, the scientists have found in CERN, in Switzerland, and many other places where they do accelerators and hit these protons and neutrons, they found subatomic particles called quarks. And these subatomic particles have a different sort of cranky behaviors. They exhibit some behaviors which is not exhibited in the normal realm. So using those techniques, already scientists have used encrypting communication and creating random numbers using those technologies. Now this quantum computing using in performing tasks which is much faster in just a second, even supercomputers cannot do that. So they use brain-derived information to teach a machine. So thus giving rise to future possibilities in which smart computers that have advanced at artificial intelligence and humans can team up to cooperatively execute tasks. So that can be computationally powerful. So in theory, in a fraction of a second, some calculation that would take even supercomputers millions of years, quantum computers can do it. So for example, a classical bits, you have like 0 and 1. But in quantum computers, you can have both. It's called qubits. They use the superposition to cut down the number of computational steps. So let's go into what is this superposition. You know, in quantum mechanics, superposition is the idea of existing in multiple states simultaneously at the same time. For example, a condition in the superposition is that it cannot be directly observed, but even though it exists in multiple things, once you look at it, it goes to one state. That is a problem. So in a letter to Albert Einstein, Erwin Schrödinger writes that about a cat. He says that he sealed a cat in a container with a radioactive atom, and you're not sure it can be both alive or it can be dead. The cat is alive or dead, but when the box is open, then only the observation is made either the cat is dead or alive. So now the singular state of being dead or alive at the same time is called the quantum superposition. For example, now you see these waves. It's a constructive, it's a destructive. In a double slit experiment, what they have performed, now you send this light photons one by one through the slit. So it goes and it takes a superposition, right? One by one, and it goes. But now when you observe it through a detector, it becomes, instead of a superposition, it just becomes only one single state. So that means we don't know whether it went through this wall, it went through this one, but it becomes only one. So the observation changes the state. So what is the application of the superposition to quantum computers? So now the standard computers work by manipulating binary digits, which are stored either in 0 and 1. A quantum computers work with quantum bits. Qubits can exist in superposition. So this superposition allows quantum computings to do in parallel. So that's why it's constructed of photons and electrons. Like how we do this double slit experiment, how they do this, get the subatomic particles into superposition. Using lasers or microwave beams, scientists force the subatomic particles like electrons and photons to get into superposition. So now everything in a standard computer are made of zeros and ones, right? So now if you want to compare the 0001 and 100, you need to do sequentially. But in a quantum computer, there is no need to do simultaneously. You can do parallelly. That's why it's faster. And similarly, you have also might have studied about quantum tunneling and quantum entanglement. If two electrons get entangled, if its state changes, the another electron, even if it is in rocket, that also changes its state. So if both electrons are entangled, wherever it goes, they change the state. So even if one electron changes, the other electron changes its state. So now the same phenomena, I'm going faster, it's called a spooky action at a distance. So it's called as entangled pair. So this helps in achieving a very powerful computing process. So finally, quantum computing is calculates with qubits, and classical computing calculates with transistors, either 0 or 1. In a quantum computing, power increases exponentially. Here, it increases in a 1:1 relationship. It has, but what is the problem with quantum computers? They have high error rates, because when you observe, it goes to one state, right? So that is the way when any external disturbance like temperature change or something like that, that's why they keep it as sub-zero temperature. Even then, they get a large error rate. So they are now trying to develop software that removes this error. So classical computers have low error states. So well suited for optimization task. This is for everyday tasks. So finally, this is making use of superposition, entanglement, and it is superior to classical computing. Now, I'm just moving faster. So now coming to this using quantum computers, at just 5 minutes, like I'll finish it, super strong AI. What we use this artificial intelligence for. Now you have this artificial intelligent machine. It can think like you, it can act like you. It can be a problem for you if it goes into wrong people's hand, because it doesn't have empathy. You give gun into its hand, it can kill. What about the bias which is fed in? So ethics come into picture. And so what are we going to do if we don't have a moral compass? So let us develop some ethics. Like, why do we do what we do? And how do we achieve our purpose? How do we bring ethics into technologies? What do we desire for? What do we defend for? All these things become so important. And lastly, what might be the ethical, legal, and social implications of such neurotechnology, brain-to-brain communication, enhanced memory? Would we have duplicated ourselves? What if somebody hijacks your brain? And what if the brain-computer interfaces are used as court evidences? So these are some of the ethical implications of such technologies. So thank you so much. And because I have taken some more time, I wanted to thank you for the time and thank you for the opportunity. And I encourage all the students to enter into such an interesting field. Even at this age, it's so interesting to me. So that's why I started this. And it's very interesting. And I encourage each and every one of you to work on this and to wonder how can we bring ethics into it before advancing it further. Thank you so much.
Some people want to ask questions, it seems. Ma'am, can you take a few questions?
Yeah.
From MEPCO, your good old student. Yeah, I'm first batch MEPCO civil engineering.
Oh, great.
Yeah, now I'm into medical field. I'm doing acupuncture and alternate treatment methods. So I have 3 questions. Your artificial super intelligence, can it think better than a human?
Yes.
Okay. And is it possible to utilize artificial super intelligence in giving counseling to a person? Because the thought process, the value system, belief system of every individual, it will be totally different. So actually, will it be possible to utilize this
It
in
is
psychology?
possible, but how we have to introduce empathy and mercy into it. So
Yeah.
it is not fully, you can try, but you won't get the results because, yes, in a human counselor will have empathy, will have a mercy, will be able to understand and perceive that. But when a machine will not have that empathy, right? And whatever you program, this if it happens, this you give this if it happens. So those sort of things it can talk and do. So I don't feel in that way, in that field, that empathetic way, because we are different. We have soul, we have consciousness, we are different, and machines are different, right?
Actually, you said that it will be able to read the mind of the people, and it will be able to understand the emotions of the people and all. So in that case, I mean, this is not possible for utilizing it in counseling.
It's not good. That's what I would say.
Yeah, actually, cloning was banned due to some reasons. So, do you think artificial computing, once if a computer thinks better than a human being, will it not be a threat to human?
That's what singularity, that concept is coming. No, it's a threat. It's a threat because it can wipe out the human race. It just 1 minute it can wipe out. So they, when they become more intelligent and they all team up together and they all can fight against, so that is a problem. So Stephen Hawking says, you can construct another planet and move away, because at this planet you're going to die. So these are all things. That's why the concept of made in the image of God, and how you are, the ethics and those sort of things are very important when you're working with machines. And because we have a soul, we have consciousness, we are not like animals or machines. So that differentiates, and so we should not make a machine to overpower us.
Yeah. Thank you.
Madam, this is Selvati from first
Hi.
batch alumni, ma'am. Can you remember?
Yeah.
Madam, I will contact you later, ma'am. So many questions, so many informations I need regarding robots in medical field, ma'am.
Okay.
I need a lot of informations, books, etc. for our academic purpose. I will contact you later through Matilda.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, madam. Now I am as a head of biomedical engineering in MEPCO Engineering College.
Oh, nice.
Starting from 88, I am here only, ma'am. This
Oh,
is for
great.
your information.
Oh, great. Nice.
Okay. I will contact you, ma'am. I will contact you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Madam, John, madam.
Tamil Selvi.
Yeah, madam. How are you, madam?
Yeah, I'm fine. How are
I'm
you,
also
Tamil
first
Selvi?
batch of NEPCO, working as Professor and Dean Academic of National Engineering College, Kovilpatti.
Oh, everybody are in different college. Nice to see you all.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Madam, we have been working in 5G technology, madam, and we'll call you later, madam, for
Okay.
further discussion.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for your wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
So thank you, ma'am. That was a lovely presentation. And I think you really rocked as you did so many years back. So as we are
I was
getting
so
late
happy
for
that time in my batch. Everybody got passed.
Matilda, Usha is waiting.
Yeah,
so
madam,
as we are
my name
getting
is Usha. In case
Usha,
you recall me, my name is Usha, and I work for LTI Mindtree. I head the data and analytics.
Wow.
For
Oh,
out
nice.
here.
So all my students have come to very high level. I'm so happy.
Yeah, we are also nearing the stage of retirement, so we'll see where to go.
Okay.
And one of your student has quit engineering. He has
Really?
quit engineering and and I'm now in medical field.
Oh, good, good.
No,
They
no,
have
no.
totally quit.
Engineering and medicine will
That
go
is
hand in
Modi.
hand,
That is
Modi.
Modi.
Nice
Okay.
to meet you.
Thank you
Nice
so
meeting.
much.
Nice meeting. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks.
thank you all so much. It was lovely. Like, both emotions, technology, everything mixed together.